How to cope with an existential crisis without losing your cool. Ever wake up feeling like life is stuck on repeat, and even the things that once sparked joy now feel like a lukewarm cup of decaf? Maybe the meaning of life seems like a riddle with no punchline, leaving you wanting to crawl back under the covers. Congratulations, my friend. You're having an existential crisis. It's that charming state of mind where everything feels gray and the big questions, why am I here? What's the point of all this? Loom over you like a bad hangover after a night of cheap philosophy and wine. But don't despair. Søren Kierkegaard, the original existentialist, might have some advice to help you find your way out of this philosophical fog, and maybe even rediscover a little zest for life along the way. Kierkegaard's diagnosis: passion or bust. According to Kierkegaard, living without passion is just existing, not truly living. He believed that our world, much like today's, is too obsessed with productivity and results, often at the expense of personal, passionate experiences. His solution? Find a truth that's true for you, something you're willing to live and die for. This kind of passion can bring coherence to your life and help you feel more fulfilled. So, while reading Kierkegaard won't fix everything, it might give you a new perspective on why life feels like it's stuck in neutral. The existential buffet. Choices, and more choices. Freedom sounds great on paper, but when you realize you're free to make your own choices, it can feel overwhelming. Kierkegaard called this the dizziness of freedom. It's that nauseating feeling you get when you're faced with too many possibilities and the responsibility that comes with them. From choosing toothpaste to making life-altering decisions like whom to marry or what career to pursue, the stakes are high, and the closer you get to making a decision, the dizzier you'll feel. Sometimes this dizziness can tempt you to let someone else make the choice for you. But personal growth depends on facing these big decisions head-on and learning to channel your anxiety constructively. After all, if you don't make the choice, you're just skimming over life like a stone on water. Sooner or later, you're going to sink. The ethical leap: time to grow up. If the aesthetic life is a dead end, what's next? Kierkegaard suggested moving into the ethical sphere, where you start making commitments and living with intention. It's about taking responsibility for your choices and considering how your actions affect others. In the ethical sphere, you stop using distractions to avoid facing your existential crisis and start the hard work of self-reflection. This transition might involve despair, but Kierkegaard argued that despair is what pushes you to grow. It's like realizing you've been living on fast food and deciding it's time to learn how to cook a proper meal. Daunting, but necessary for real nourishment. The leap of faith. When all else fails, even the ethical life might not fully resolve an existential crisis. That's where Kierkegaard's famous leap of faith comes in. It's not just about religious faith, it's about making a bold, decisive choice to live a life you can be passionate about, even when the future is uncertain. This leap might mean finding a cause you believe in, or deciding to live with more kindness and patience. The point is to move beyond just going through the motions and find something that gives your life coherence and purpose. And remember, you don't have to be all serious and solemn about it. Kierkegaard himself used humor to make his points. So, when you make your leap, don't forget to bring a little joy and laughter along for the ride. Balancing the spheres. Ultimate existential juggle. Kierkegaard wasn't saying you have to choose between living aesthetically, ethically, or taking a leap of faith. Fulfilling life is about finding a balance between enjoyment, commitment, and passion. It's like a juggling act. Sometimes you'll drop the ball, but that's okay. The important thing is to keep juggling, finding ways to bring meaning and joy into your life, and remembering that it's up to you to shape your existence. The takeaway: what would Kierkegaard do? Don't let existential despair paralyze you. Use it as a push to explore new possibilities and find what really matters to you. And if you're feeling stuck, remember that it's okay to take things one step at a time. Kierkegaard wasn't perfect, but he spent his life searching for truth and meaning. His journey can inspire us on our own path. Whether you're facing an existential crisis or just trying to figure out what toothpaste to buy, remember that you have the freedom to choose how you live your life. And if you ever find yourself staring into the abyss, take a deep breath, muster some courage, and maybe even crack a smile. After all, the journey through life is full of twists, turns, and a few laughs. That's what makes it worth living.